Folks, we've reached the final recap of Mania weekend. It's always the most rambunctious, raucous, wild, wildest, fun crowd of the year. Although this year, they were very naughty. They get slaps on the wrist. I can't believe it. The Raw crowd right after Mania. You took this... there was a point there in the middle of the show where I was like, don't make... All your moms are going to walk down there with wooden paddles and give you a paddle on the behind for being so bad. Come on, guys, you know. But yeah, it was the Raw after Mania, and man, the main event, wow, that saved that show. Great main event, fatal four-way. Initially supposed to be Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Chris Jericho for a #1 contendership against Roman Reigns. I can only assume that this is for the upcoming pay-per-view coming up, which I think is Payback on the 2nd, whenever the next pay-per-view is, but I think it's Payback on May the 2nd. But they worked an angle because I guess Zayn re-injured his shoulder last night in the ladder match, which sucks, but if that's true, if not, if it's just part of this angle that they're building up towards like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing, then watch out WWE. That's a great angle to have. Ring of Honor fans know what I'm talking about. So there's a vacancy, and they say there's still supposed to be a four-corner, or it's not a four-corner survival. Now I'm thinking Ring of Honor. Four-way for the #1 contendership, as everything slips out of my mind. Enter Cesaro, who comes back to the roster tonight, which is great. He was the return everybody was excited about, and was really cool to see. And man, he looked great. Wrestled an awesome match. Threw the sharpshooter on somebody at one point in the match. I think it was Owens, and almost got the submission victory. No, it was on Jericho. Almost got the submission victory out of that. But yeah, AJ Styles, new #1 contender. So now we're going to have Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles, which means I believe we're going down the route of seeing Roman Reigns as a heel. Possibly, maybe. Keep our fingers crossed. He was showing kind of the cocky... I think if he becomes a heel, I think he'll be watching a lot of tapes on 1994 Diesel a little bit, because Kevin Nash from that era, because he kind of has that suave, smooth, don't give a damn whatever about it, but he'll flip and turn, bloodshot crazy in a second. And I think that might be the best direction for him to go right now. I really do. And Reigns is a champion. AJ is going to be chasing now. We can't wait to see the match between the two of them. I can tell you that much. That color me intrigued for that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We saw a square off also on Raw for the Women's Championship between Charlotte and Natty. The two had a great match. It's on the Best of NXT Blu-ray. That's out now, the brand new one. I just watched that Blu-ray myself, and it was great. So if they rehash the formula from that, maybe they talk if Brett's feeling well enough to get Brett in Natty's corner again, and so you can have Brett and Rick in two corners, maybe. Maybe that's the direction where they're going. So we can take a look at that. It worked on the NXT level. There's no reason why it shouldn't work in a main arena level. Now, saying that, there have been things that have worked on the NXT level that don't work on a main arena level, because writers get a hold of it and go blah with it. Tyler Breeze being one example, works on an NXT level, but then all of a sudden, blah, blah. Oh, what else was notable for tonight? Wade Barrett out of the League of Nations. And so now that foursome is now a trio, and they squared off with the Wyatts. So maybe there's something brewing there between the League of Nations and the Wyatts, which would be pretty good. Getting back to the crowd here, and everything just coming randomly to mind as it is but been all weekend. No real formula to this. It's just me rambling off. That's it. I want to give a special shout out as I fire up my phone here to a fella who was in the crowd tonight, the live crowd in Dallas, who had tweeted me at the Jeff Chase. He sent me a photo of the beach ball guy getting ejected out of the building. I had asked how it went down, and this is word for word what at the Jeff Chase sent to me. He was beach ball number 3, #orange. They confronted him when blowing it up, but he threw it into the crowd. They came back 5 or 6 minutes later to eject him. Chance of #let him stay. Well, here's the thing. At Mania in New Orleans, I think there were, on the Raw the night after, I think there were beach balls that were being blown up and thrown around, but they weren't, receiving a crowd pop, we'll put it that way. That was strange. The big issue I have with this, and this was brought up on Twitter, is that the deal with it is you bring up an NXT guy, like a Baron Corbin, somebody that, a lot of fans are clamoring to say, okay, let's give him a shot on the main roster. Wins the Battle Royal yesterday, comes up to the main roster today. You put him in a match with Dolph Ziggler, which is another fan favorite, and you let them go, and the crowd is more entertained by somebody throwing a beach ball up and around, and I think that speaks more to the live crowd than it does the actual quality of the guys in the match. I think at that point in the weekend, after sitting through the amount of wrestling they have, this is just if they sat through NXT TakeOver on Friday and say, for example, the Sunday WrestleMania card. This is not taking into account them going to any extra things like Shimmer 80 or the Ring of Honor stuff or Evolve or anything else that's going on in Dallas that weekend wrestling-wise. People are wrestled out by the time Monday Night Raw starts on Monday. They are burnt out, and when people are burnt out and in a live party atmosphere, they resort back to what you were like when you were a little kid. So think back to when you were 6 years old and younger, I should say. And when you got tired, and people who have kids know this and that stuff, or younger siblings or whatever, when they get tired, they start to get whiny and goofy. This is what happened to the crowd in Dallas tonight. They got so oversaturated by wrestling this weekend that they became whiny and goofy. That's all it is. It's just, I'm not going to fault them. That's it. It's just, too much content over 3 or 4 days makes you go a little whoop. That's it. And then add to the mix alcohol and stuff and a good time atmosphere, you name it. That's all that was. I mean, it was a guy blowing up a beach ball and pounding it around and that stuff, and the beach ball got a bigger pop than what was going on in the ring. That's the post-Mania Raw crowd. Saying that, I don't think it was as good of a crowd watching on TV as the king of the post-Mania crowds, which was the crowd in East Rutherford, New Jersey back in 2013. But I do think that it's not anything that people should be blaming the crowd about either for their actions and such. I've seen tweets online tonight that people were saying, oh, it's such a bad crowd. I really don't think that it was such a bad crowd. I think that they were just caught up with an oversaturation, especially after yesterday's marathon card, because nobody expected it to go longer than 4 hours, on the main card. I think everybody was just so blown up at that point. You had guys like, hell, you look at Becky Lynch during the whole thing tonight on the title presentation to Charlotte and that whole deal, and she's got a mouse under her eye that would make a lot of MMA fighters jealous, okay, after yesterday's match. I mean, you have Zack Ryder, who lost the championship tonight. Again, predicted that yesterday, that he would lose the championship, that he was a transitional champion, that I feared that he was, and he was a transitional champion to The Miz. But the good news out of that is it looks like there's a program developing between Ryder and The Miz for the IC title. I just hope they don't hot potato the belt over the next few weeks, leading into Payback or something, which would be kind of not strange, but just really like, you know, people were saying it demeans the belt to put it on Ryder. I don't think it did. It demeans the belt if you're going to hot potato it between one guy and another over a 4 or 5 week period. It really demeans the belt if you pull a WCW and hot potato the belt between your entire mid card for a 4 or 5 week period too. But yeah, so it is what it is. It's the end of a very long weekend for everybody, but a very fun weekend. I'm sure there are a lot of people in Dallas that will take away a lifetime of memories from this weekend. I got a few shout outs and thank yous as I close this off. I want to thank everybody who interacted with me at my Twitter account all weekend at Kella Nitro. You are the guys that keep our site alive, as well as our over 900 subscribers now on our YouTube channel. God, I didn't think we'd get past 90 when we started, but we are sitting over 900, which is amazing. Thank you ever so much for subscribing and liking and commenting. You guys are the best. If you feel like you want to give us some sort of appreciation or whatever, patreon.com/FreakinNitroTV. There's a perk there for you. There is a 1 cent perk where Jimmy will do a job out for you on the topic of your choosing if you sign up for that perk. So sign up for that 1 cent perk and suggest, and you can suggest to him the topic of his next job out. Simple as that. So easy. Like that. And just a quick stat to throw your way. I'm going to try and bring this up because I have this written on. There we go. So since Thursday night, with this video, counting this video, it's been 21 videos from Thursday night to tonight, uploaded just for you guys. And all the comments and all the likes and such and everything. We'll tabulate the numbers later, but thank you. You've made this weekend far and away our most viewed WrestleMania weekend we've ever had, and for that you guys are number one, and we thank you very much for it. As for me, Friday we'll see a resume of normal video services for my Friday on the channel. Drag Files will come back. We got more stuff from the IHRA race from Edmonton last year as we're winding through eliminations for that. And get back with the EWR playthrough. I got to put some of that Let's Play footage together for you guys here for the next couple of weeks. But the roster signed for fan wrestling, so you can see what I would do if I was back in 2005 as a EWR player. And hopefully I don't run the business into the ground, we'll put it that way. This has been a first impressions of Raw. I thought it was great. Not the best Raw after Mania I've seen, but given the conditions and such, it was, we give it the thumbs up. And, you know, a special thanks again to the fella on Twitter that was giving me the play-by-play of the of the beach ball person. You can follow him at the Jeff Chase on Twitter, and he's a fellow Canadian like myself. He's from Toronto, I'm from Edmonton, so there you go. Follow him up if you're on the East Coast and get some East Coast living in Toronto type tweets from the 6, as Drake would say. Alright, later boys, and girls, and women, and men. Peace!